Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
Are we done yet? My wife and I have a date to go get chicken wings. Are we done? Is this it? Oh, no, we're just starting. Never mind. It is February 10th, 2026.
You and your scheduling. Go ahead, I interrupted. Finish.
Hey, I do it to you all the time. Episode 154. Here we go. By the way, next week, I will not be here. Richard is still on the fence whether he's going to put something together. He's going to probably put something together to.
Yeah, it'll be a little something. It may not be a full episode, but we'll have something for you since my surgery has been postponed. I've been trying to be a good boy and not have any kind of sugar, very, very, very low carbohydrates that get converted into sugar. Blah, I'm learning all kinds of crap. Blah, blah, blah. Bland,
they told me I'm
coffee.
as healthy as I could be for a stage 4 cancer victim. So, I mean,
well, and I somebody said, well, and you need to exercise more. And I just look at him and go, really? What do you propose I do? I can go pump me up and...
You turned 70 in October, is that right?
No, we're in the same month, pal.
Oh, that's right, July.
You're at the 1st of July. I'm at the very end. We're 20 days apart because is yours what, the 8th? No.
11th.
11th. Oh yeah, we're not very far apart. I'm the 28th. So
that and 8 years. So, but yeah, I've already talked to Social Security. They're going to start sending me checks. Woohoo! So we're on board with that. So anyway, I will be under the knife on Thursday, and I probably won't be released until Monday or Tuesday of next week. They're gonna let me go. Please release me, let me go, and we will be back with you probably on the 24th. So together anyway. We
together
actually
again.
Together again. I feel like Sonny and Cher getting but we have some good guests coming up. I've got Reagan Box, who was running for Senate here in Georgia. That I've talked.
Isn't she running for House?
Now she's running for Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat that she vacated, and so that would be kind of neat to talk to her. I think the Senate seat was. The timing, I don't think, was very good for her campaign for that, and I think she recognized that too. So I think she's got a real good shot at this shot at the seat that Marjorie Taylor Greene has vacated. I think she's just different enough to where she's going to garner some attention. She's not the typical politician. I that's what I like about her. So anyway, we have her coming up probably in April. We have. No, I'm sorry, in March. And I think I'm going to talk to my friend Emery Roy from Turning Point USA. She's going to be a guest, I think, maybe sometime in March as well. But she's fantastic. She's head of our local Turning Point chapter here in Cartersville, Georgia. So it's going to be interesting. I think that once I figure out who's going to be running for Barry Loudermilk's seat in my district here, I may try to reach out to whoever that is, whoever I think is probably going to have the best shot at that. I hate that he's not running. He's a good conservative guy, but I know that I know my 11th district here in Georgia, they're going to come up with somebody good. So anyway, I've been talking like I've had too much coffee, but I think that's probably true. So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you want to talk any more about what's going on with your need,
I get to talk too.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I've done it. Sorry.
He's always saying to me, well, I probably talk too much. If I don't have anything to say, I'll sit here and be quiet. If I do, I'll interrupt you. So
I have talked too much today. I had a lot to say. Sorry.
That's all right. We'll be fine. It's the last one for you for a while. And you'll be back in 2 weeks if you're not in a pine box. So, I'm real positive about things for you.
I may be dead by Thursday. I won't ever interrupt you again. We don't know.
God, we're so
Lord, I'm ready to
cavalier
go.
about this stuff. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Can't worry about it. Just go on about things and we'll be fine.
I've had so many
Jeepers.
people say that I love your attitude. It's like going, I mean, there's only so many things in this world you can control. I mean,
Yep.
really, it's like when you file your taxes or what shoes to buy. But I mean, there's really a limited things you can control, and this
Yeah.
is not one of them. So
Yeah. It's the same thing for me. And fortunately, my hip doesn't hurt. And I have good days where I can walk pretty close to normal, but I never know when it's going, okay, you think you're good? What's this? And all of a sudden it won't hold me up. I'll take a step and go,
surprise, 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 Sergeant
that my
Carter.
friend I was at my friend's for the Super Bowl party and was getting a little stuff to eat. Sunday was not a good day. My body didn't like me very much on Sunday. Anyway, and I turned around to put something in a trash can and I didn't pivot on it, but I just went to take maybe probably too big of a step. I have to do what I call the Chinese two-step. Yeah, I don't know if that's racist or whatever, but the little when they have the little blot, whatever that ding 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 ding.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that stuff. So I have to take shorter steps. So the hip was feeling pretty good. Took a little bit long and just about went poof.
Oh
So,
boy.
and I look up and my buddy standing there just looking at me. It's like, crap, he saw that. Because it's going down. I grab the counter to I'm pretty quick and my left leg will hold me up if I can get that underneath me. That's all I need to do. But so it doesn't hurt a lot. It's just, it won't hold me up.
Yeah. Well, the last thing you want to do is fall because I mean, if it's like that, and it could break very easily. My mother broke her hip leaving my front door. Gosh, it'd be 30 years ago now. She was leaving. I had one little step. You walked out on a little tiny little. We have a very small house, our first house. It had a little tiny patio and had one step down to go out to where the driveway was, and she hit that step and she went over and broke her hip immediately. And she was 70. She was 70 at that point. So yeah, it was terrible, terrible.
Gee, thanks for reminding me of that. That's awful nice of you to share.
You know, I am here
Anyway,
for you, just
yeah.
so you know.
So last whatever day it was that we had to go to Wednesday oh no, it was last Monday. Boy, I was depressed to no end.
Oh boy.
That yeah, no, you can't do it. Your A1C is too high. What? I've never had high. Well, for whatever reason, in 1 year's time, it jumped 2.5 points. So no clue, but they won't work on it unless you're 7.5 or lower.
Yeah. Well, and you got to take that in stride too, because that's out of your control. You didn't
Yep,
do
it's
anything
like
different. So
finding out about it, trying different things. I miss my frou-frou coffee.
yeah,
I used to probably put way too much crap in it, but
you need to be a man and drink a black. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. So right now this is the first cup that I've had today I'm trying monk fruit. Did
Mm.
not know we had it. Apparently the wife got it and didn't care for it. So there was a whole bag of it up in really? Yeah, it's behind really? Well, I almost
Expired
kind
in
of
2015, but I'm sure it's just fine.
we have
It's
stuff.
still got a lot of
It's
life in it.
powder stuff. It's not going to go bad.
You
So
just scoop out the roaches and stuff. I mean, it's
see,
fine.
we don't have that issue here. It's
Oh,
too
that's
damn
true.
dry. They just don't.
They don't survive. Yeah,
Yeah, they won't, and they'll get their little tuchuses froze off.
yeah, that's true.
Not real good that way. And our house at night, yeah, it's a thermostat is set down to 58, which it was this morning because it was only 24 degrees outside.
I just don't know how you do it. We keep ours on 73, summer or winter. It's
Oh my
73.
God, I couldn't sleep in that. I would be just wringing wet when I woke up.
And
So
sometimes
yeah.
it's cold. So I mean,
Well,
yeah,
my son-in-law says we sleep in a morgue, so
that does sound morgue-like. Yes, I'll go along with that. Hey, we got a lot to get to.
we
Like
got
I
to
said,
get going here.
enough
We're
about us.
babbling too much. Enough about our laws. We're so popular.
Because it really is about us. Our names are on the
Well, I did
marquee.
introduce us. I
You
did
did.
introduce us today.
That happened to me during the promo. I remember,
I
what did I screw up on the promo? I was like, my
uh,
tongue just would not work.
yeah.
It is Tuesday. It's 2 days since the Super Bowl, and everybody's still up in arms. the controversy over the halftime show from Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I guess in a lot of ways they don't like you saying Super Bowl. They've patented that phrase. A lot of people have to say the big game on Sunday. How do you corral words anyway? It's Roger Goodell. He does what he wants anyway, I guess. But that halftime show, the whole controversy is still lingering. Brittany Hughes from Media Research Center kind of explained a little bit of why people are upset. And here's how she put it. I think she put it a whole lot better than I was going to do it. So here she is.
Bad Bunny finally performed the Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday, and apparently we're all supposed to hand out brownie points because it wasn't as visually offensive as it could have been, because he didn't show up in drag wearing prosthetic boobs, so the bar was set in hell. But the whole show was still entirely in Spanish, so most of the audience couldn't actually understand it. The Washington Post tells us it was full of wholesome family values. Others lectured Christians on how we should be celebrating it because Jesus loves people who speak all kinds of languages. But the problem with rocking out to a song sung in a language that you don't understand is that you don't understand it. Allow me to help you out. Here are some of the lyrics that Bad Bunny performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, translated for your convenience. Ready for this? Bet you're not. I'm gonna take them all to the VIP. Say hello to Auntie. Let's take a selfie, say cheese, let the ones I already smile. A Dominican who is a fresh hottie, fresh hottie. The one from Barcelona that came by plane and says that my dick is fire. My dick is being chased and I want you to hide it. Grab it like a bonga. She took a pill that made her horny. She in the Audi, not in the Honda. That's what was being performed in front of more than 150 million people at the nation's largest sporting event by a cross-dressing rapper who we're supposed to believe Jesus would have been applauding because he spews his filth in something other than English. But see, here's the thing about diversity. It's not wonderful for its own sake. Beauty and humanity come in all kinds of diverse forms, but so does the contents of my garbage can, which frankly is exactly where this halftime show belongs.
Well, and this has been my contention. I heard about this, first of all, I heard it Monday morning on Glenn Beck's program where he was talking about this was the way he understood it, this was part of the lyrics in English. And I was like going, that can't be true. So I did some research myself and I found it. I sent it to Richard. I actually sent it to like
every song that he sang was just almost filthy as hell. Damn near every single one.
Absolutely. But you're racist if you don't like it. I mean, that's the typical response.
Well, they were saying it's the most watched halftime show ever. Well, that's because the viewership was high because you had a team on the East Coast and a team on the West Coast. Neither team can get any farther apart unless they get in a boat.
And not only that, people were getting up. I mean, just because you left the TV on doesn't mean there were people who were engaged in it. I saw a video of the crowd, and most of the crowd was not really necessarily engaged in what was going on the field.
They couldn't see because it wasn't on a big stage. It was between all this grass stuff, and he'd pop out and you'd hear stuff. And somebody, and they have $10,000 seats, and they looked over, and this group of folks got up and they were gone, and it said, where'd everybody go? And he said, oh, they went to go get some expensive beer, which was better than sitting here and watching this garbage. So
yeah.
And
I paid $15 for a beer. I don't even drink, and I would just to leave.
Yeah, it was. So they got up and left, and there were people booing, but they didn't have microphones that were pointed toward the crowd because they weren't enjoying it. There was there was not much going on. What was the other thing was, the TP USA. The problem was if you had the game on and you went to YouTube, well, that still was playing underneath. So we switched channel to the Olympics, then went to the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was between 5 and 6 million live were watching it.
Right.
However, it was on different places, so the total viewership they were saying in all the different media things that it was on was something close to 25 mil.
I think yesterday morning, this is what I heard. I didn't go check, but they said that the YouTube by Monday morning, people watching the replays and everything, it was up around 20 million at that point, just YouTube. So I think that it did reach a whole lot more people than but people love to throw the whole Kid Rock thing in your face. And look, Kid Rock, he's had some very questionable lyrics. There's a whole lot of people that have done, I totally get that, totally. But this man has had his life changed by putting his faith in Jesus, he is not the same person as he used to be.
No.
That's why he gave his real name during the whole thing. And it's like, if you believe in Jesus, you believe in the redemption of what he can do in your life, then why are you not celebrating that? Why are you going, yeah, but 15 years ago, you said this, this, and this. It's like, man, I don't want something that I did 30 years ago thrown in my face, because I did some awful stuff. I just don't. All those things are terrible arguments.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the show, the different people, and it was bam, 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 one thing right after another. And I went, well, it's supposed to be a 30-minute halftime. Okay, I said, we should be able to get back to the game. And they finished it. We got back over to the game. We missed a minute and 15 seconds or something of the second half.
They had just kicked off. They were just starting their first possession.
We didn't miss crap. But here's the other thing that a source that you and I both, when he says something, he shows you the receipts on it, is Benny.
Yeah.
Benny Johnson. And yesterday, our good buddy that did the halftime show, old Bunny Boy, he deleted all of his social media. 55 million followers. He just deleted it and went away. Because I guess he could not take the controversy or the comments that what a pile of crap. It was not going well for him. He thought he was just a hero, and he ain't.
If you're going to put all that stuff out there and be just terrible talking about women and using them as sex objects or whatever, it's like, and you can't have the thick enough skin to take any criticism from that, then good. I mean, supposedly he never even made it past 85 on the Billboard charts anyway. He's not like this mega superstar. From what I understand, I didn't look this up either, but I've heard it from several people that he was not necessarily a chart topper. It would not have been on Casey Kasem's list, put it that way.
Yeah, he was supposed to be big in the, how'd they put it, the Latino community and whatever. And so what the NFL is doing is what Bud Light did. It's like, screw you guys who's been buying our stuff for, the last 40 years or whatever. We want these guys now to buy our beer. Screw you. Well, then the screw you said, really? Well, then we ain't buying your crap no more. And all of a sudden they went, where'd you go? Well, the same thing's happening with the NFL there. And the other thing is they had the Black National Anthem on again before the game.
I didn't see that part, thankfully. I tuned in a little bit late.
They did not announce it as that.
Oh, really?
Lift every voice and sing it. It's like, isn't that the one they're calling the Black? Yeah, they didn't say Black National Anthem, but they still had it performed. Really, and people were not happy about that either. So they're just not doing themselves any favor right now. They're about to alienate their core people that have been going and seeing games for the last 60 years.
Yeah, the NFL has started to go down with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, and it's been straight downhill ever since. But my point with a lot of people yesterday I was making is that, look, if I was a Spanish-speaking person, I know a lot of Spanish-speaking people that if you're sitting there with your grandmother, your abuela, or your 8-year-old little girl, and you understand Spanish and they understand Spanish, and it's like first of all, I'd made my daughter leave the room. I'd been so embarrassed for my mother or grandmother sitting there listening to this crap that, it's like, this is supposed to be a family-friendly event. This shouldn't have anything to do with this.
It was anything but.
It was.
And I heard something. Now, again, this is hearing. I didn't have a good source, but the FCC is looking at fining NBC millions right now because you can't get away with that. You can't do that. That is not just because you thought, well, it's being said in Spanish, it's okay. Yeah, we have a few Spanish-speaking people in this country, just a few
millions, absolutely. And it's just offensive stuff. I mean, like I said, it should be family friendly. I hope the FCC gets them good. And if they do it, the way I understand the FCC, when I was in radio back in the day, it was per event, per word that you went over the line. So you get a certain fine for every word or every thing that you say. So, I mean, that from the list of lyrics that I read, it's going to be a lot.
That bill's going to be high.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to get the mail on that day. Anyway, have you seen the movie 13 Hours when it came out?
No, I heard about it. It was just not something that I went and saw. It was really it was pretty
It didn't do
heavy, and I
very
don't
well.
watch a lot of those kind of things.
Yeah, it didn't do well in the theaters. If you're not familiar with this, y'all, that this was about the Benghazi attack that happened. This was the 13, 14 years, almost 14 years ago now. It's a very accurate from people that I understand that are within the CIA and the people who are familiar with the whole Libya theater of operation and everything. They say that's very, very accurate. There's nothing to that they didn't take a lot of creative liberty with it. It's very, very good. It's well done. I believe you can still find it on Amazon video streaming service. So I think I encourage everybody to go watch it. It is heavy. I totally give you that. But last week there was some news about that whole event that we were waiting for a long time, an arrest in that Benghazi tragedy. Pam Bondi had this to say.
We have never forgotten those heroes. And we have never stopped seeking justice for that crime against our nation. In fact, from day one, Cash and Dan would sit in meetings and say, we're going to get them. And they did. Today, I'm proud to announce that the FBI has arrested one of the key participants behind the Benghazi attack. Zubair al-Bakosh landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 3 a.m. this morning. He is in our custody. He was greeted by Director Patel and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro.
And, I think that those of us who are still unhappy with the way all this was handled, it was, they first came out, the Obama administration, I think it was Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State.
She was Secretary of State, yeah.
Yeah. She came out and said it was a response to a video that insulted Mohammed.
That was, it's like, wow, if you're going to come up with a lie, can you come up with something better than that? Because that is not what it was.
Well, they thought they were being clever. And it ended up being a steaming pile. And
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the thing that bugged me the most was her saying, well, it's already done and over. They're dead. What does it matter? Really? That's how callous she is.
Yep. Pam Bondi went on to talk about the reminders of the whole Benghazi thing.
Hillary Clinton famously once said about Benghazi, what difference at this point does it make? Well, it makes a difference to Donald Trump. It makes a difference to those families. And 14 years later, it makes a difference to law enforcement who made the difference in this case. Thank you, President Trump, for supporting all of our agencies around the country and around the world. Al-Bakosh will now face American justice on American soil. We will prosecute this alleged terrorist to the fullest extent of the law. He'll face charges related to murder, terrorism, arson, among others.
And, with her saying what difference does it make with this, what caused this attack, I think it was essentially just brushing off these lives of these people who died, who were murdered in service of our country. And it matters to the families of those people. It matters to those of us who know people that are serving overseas and are, and even in Afghanistan, there was a lot of this stuff that people died that unnecessarily. This was U.S. Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens, and U.S. government personnel was Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glenn Doherty. So hopefully we will never forget the service of those men. I would hope that Trump does something for those families, brings them in for that trial, or at least the sentencing for that, and hopefully that the wheels of justice turn fast for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff about it, and that administration had been selling arms to people that they shouldn't have been selling them to, and then it was an all circle back type thing. And somebody said that was in the know of this, that there was no close air support that should have been called in, and that would have squelched it and stopped things, because they were afraid that one of the planes would have gotten hit by one of the Stinger missiles that they had sold to somebody else, because there was evidence of one that the guy shot it at a helicopter or something, I guess, and hit it, but he forgot to arm it. So it was just like a big thud. There was a hole. It was there. They could read the serial number and went, wait a minute. This is supposed to be
jacket missile. Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah. So yeah, that was where the evidence came from, and that's why they didn't call in close air support, because they were afraid that our own arms were going to be used against our own plane. So, you can't call them in because then we'll look bad and somebody might figure it out.
Well, unfortunately, I think Republicans and Democrats both, presidencies, have sold arms to people in the Middle East, thinking that, well, we can be friends now. No, they'll just turn around and sell them to the bad guys because all they see is dollar amounts. They don't care about their own people enough to hang on to
and Lord knows they don't care about us.
Like I said, I blame the rhinos or the Republicans and the Democrats that have both been in office. They've both done it, and it needs to stop immediately. Hopefully it does. But anyway, we are up against a break already. Goodness gracious, how fast this has gone. But when we come back, we're going to talk about Billie Eilish and her foot and mouth disease.
Good old hoof and mouth.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to talk about. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Kendra Rains. These two old dudes crack me up. That's why I listen to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
A squiggly, jiggly mishmash of colors we wouldn't be caught dead in. But it sure looks good on you.
Squiggly, jiggly.
They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We say, whoever beholden that thing, beholden one ugly sweater.
I'll keep holding on.
No, I wasn't dragged down the highway and my insides are showing. I'm wearing my new sweater.
Someone call a doctor.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Natty in his knits. It may just be an ugly sweater, but it sure is an ugly sweater.
Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, God, I love these.
I am so glad that we don't pre-listen to those because our organic response is good.
Oh, Lordy. Well, I didn't know you in the last segment. I didn't know you were going to have something that you were going to have Pam Bondi talk about what I just said. And then she said it. And it's like, oops, sorry. But that's my memory.
No, it's fine. I mean, it just reiterated what you said. So I got no problem with that at all. But this is why we have people asking us. It's like, how long do you script this? And how long does it take for you? I mean, it really does. Probably to put all the clips together and make my notes. It probably takes an hour and a half of the week, and just to make sure that I've got everything kind of in a halfway decently understandable order. But yeah, we don't practice.
No,
nothing.
he does stuff on the front end, and then I do the back end, making the videos and adding stuff and putting things to that. And it's sometimes if something doesn't go right, it can be an hour and a half for me, but it's getting down where it's a little over an hour of putting stuff together, and so we can do that. But so yeah, we work together on things. You do this, I do that. Boom, we're done. Yeah,
and it works out good. And really, it's kind of like we work to our strengths. He's a real tech guy, and I'm a little bit more of I'm a data nerd. So I mean, it works out good like this. So I like it. Yeah. Back in February 1st, Billie Eilish, which I don't think I've ever heard any of her music. I really don't. I'm just so far removed. We're in our 60s. I don't care about new music. But anyway, she accepted an award at the Grammys, and of course, couldn't help herself, turned it into a political speech. Here she is.
As grateful as I feel, I honestly don't feel like I need to say anything, but no one is illegal on stolen land.
Well, listen to all the cheering, clapping seals.
I don't know what to say and what to do right now, and I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and ICE is all I want to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
When are they bringing the fish out?
And you see the video, you see a lot of them are like, she's speaking my language. Oh my gosh, these people, the virtue signaling is just off the charts. Well, the very next day, people started pointing out that her $14 million mansion in Southern California sits on stolen land, indigenous tribe of the Tongva tribe. I don't know how you say that. Tongva. And anyway, everyone, including the Tongva tribe's representatives, are asking the question, you want to give it back?
We'll take it.
Yeah. Buck Sexton was interviewing a political commentator. She's the general counsel for the organization called Fix California. Her name is Katie Zachariah. And he asked her about this, and this is what she had to say.
Everyone likes to go up during the Grammys or Golden Globes or whatever, award show that's happening in Hollywood that's just a snooze fest. And talk about these major terms like defund ICE or ICE out and, stolen land. But then when they actually are on stolen land and the tribe does say, hey, maybe you should give us the land back that your house sits on, I doubt she's going to do it. Though a law firm has decided to represent the tribe and is pursuing her and pursuing the land. And I think that this is, comedic justice for her. You want to get up and say it, you got to, put your money where your mouth is.
Back it up, lady.
I happened to see a clip from Jesse Waters, the guy, here's Johnny, where he's going out and talking. He was, and this is a college student. They are not learning anything. They're just being indoctrinated. It's like, well, this is stolen land that the university is on supposedly, and blah, blah, blah. And she's going, oh, well, I guess I really don't want to, but I could go back to North Carolina. He goes, that's stolen land too. Yeah. It is? Oh my, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't think there's a place on the planet except for maybe Antarctica that you're not going to be on conquered land. I'd really hate the term stolen land. Nobody steals anything.
And everybody thinks that the Native Americans were all kumbaya. How are you doing over there, this tribe, and this one over here? No, they're not. They were at war all the time.
Lots of blood got spilled before Christopher Columbus or anybody got here. Leif Erikson, anybody.
Well, and then the Mexicans keep saying that we're going to come back and take back our land that was stolen. No, it wasn't. Yes, we beat you in the Mexican-American War. We could have said, go pound sand, this is ours now. But we paid them for it. At the time, $15 million was a whole lot of money in the early 1800s. So, bye-bye. Here's your money. It's ours. Go pound sand, people. It's not stolen. It was paid for.
Yeah, when you buy something, it's never considered stolen. Call me a stickler in the English language, but it's not the same thing. So, anyway, and more political stuff from people that should stay in their lane. The Olympics kicked off on Friday. And there's an American figure skater. I don't follow this stuff. I haven't watched any of the Olympics this year, but she couldn't help herself but get political in an interview, I guess, after one of her things or whatever. But here she is talking about her feelings.
Yeah, it's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before. And because of that, it's made us a lot stronger. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong in these hard times. I know that a lot of people say, you're just an athlete, like stick to your job, shut up about politics, but politics affect us all. It is something that I will not just be quiet about because it is something that affects us in our everyday lives. So, of course, there are things that I disagree with, but as a community, we are strong and we support each other, and brighter days are ahead of us.
I have a question. Me in the back here.
Yeah, you, sir, in the blue.
Oh, I put the hand up. Jiminy Christmas. Forget that. There we go. Yeah, I forgot it does that now. Yeah, what rights have anybody lost? I can't find any anywhere. It's a talking point BS thing that
Have
these
him
people.
removed. I mean, we don't need to.
And we've lost so many rights. What rights? You mean stuff you shouldn't have been doing in the first place rights, or tromping on other people's rights?
As a member, her as a member, that's what I would ask her. This, first of all, this sounded like she was testifying in front of Congress, not at the Olympics. But it's like I wish somebody would have asked her, what rights have been encroached on you since Trump took office? Because that's what she was alluding to. We're living in a time now.
I actually put that in a post that somebody said that, and I went, I'm not trying to be a horse's patoot. I am just curious, what rights have been lost? I need to know, because I can't find any that were lost.
Nope. Nothing.
And crickets.
Yeah, because they don't have anything.
No, and our opinion, we were talking off air about this, is like, we were both on the same page and we hadn't talked to each other about this, is you're going to do that. You're going to diss our country while you're over representing the U.S. and that's all you want to do is say how horrible it is here. Bye-bye. We're no longer footing you. You're no longer on the team. See ya.
Yeah.
That's a privilege to be on the team. It is not a right to be on that team.
That's right. You need to have that flag ripped off your uniform and go back to Omaha or wherever you're from. I mean, it just... I'm
a little hot under the collar. I got to let the air out.
Well, we do get upset. So
this just chaps my hide to no end. It's like,
the country that has given you so much opportunity, and you're gonna, like you said, just diss it. I mean, in front of the world. It's one thing to do it at your kitchen table. Well, I hate this president, or I hate whatever. That's fine. Or on your podcast, like you and I do. It's like, first of all, I don't hate anything, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, yeah, people's opinions should be heard. But I mean, in that platform, if I was somewhere representing the U.S., the last thing I would do is say, well, old Sleepy Joe has gotten under my skin. It's like, no, I just don't understand. Why is everybody an activist 24/7? I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's like, don't want to hear it, because everything she said is nothing but the talking points that the Democrats are being put out. And Hakeem Jeffries is one of the worst, just flat made up lies. And I'm just getting fed up with him to no end.
Politician with a capital P. And
not even that, just a bold-faced liar that, he puts out the propaganda and then the news media goes, oh yeah, we're going to say all the stuff he said. This is really good. They're just a bunch of morons.
He's proven himself over and over, and like a lot of them, to be, but he's got the platform now. He's the leader. It's like, with all the lying that he's done and been called out on those lies, and even when CNN backs him into a corner on things, he just changes the subject and lies about, well, it's because of
lies about that subject.
Timu Obama. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, they've got to get that Smith-Mundt Act put back in place. Call it something else. I don't care. Speaking of voting on things and putting an act in, what's our next subject?
Well, actually, I have two real quick
do you?
things.
Oh, you got more goodies? I'm sorry.
I think we ought to have a regular segment on John Kennedy's quotes, because, oh my gosh, I found a couple of them this week, and since I'm not going to be here next week, I've got two of them for us this week.
Okay, if we go long, whatever.
So then we'll get back to the other thing, the SAVE Act, here in a minute. But he was on Hannity's show the other day, and the subject of Tim Walz came up. And here's what he had to say about old Tampon Tim.
Governor Tim Walz. Whatever he says, believe the opposite. I'm sorry, the man learned to lie before he learned to talk. He's just a.
I can't help it. You crack me up.
Well, he's just a less masculine version of Hillary Clinton.
A less masculine version of Hillary Clinton. Oh my gosh!
And I have seen that one. That one, it cracked me up too. It's like, less. Okay, you are correct.
We bought his book, and Barbara's reading through it now, and she's like, and I hear her laughing. I know she's going through the book, but it's called how to test negative for stupid, and Washington never will, I think is what it's called. But it's a great book. But he talks about a lot of his history in the Senate and everything. But anyway, since I'm off next week, we have another one. This one's about John Fetterman. Will Kane asked him about John Fetterman. I think it was this weekend. So here we go.
It doesn't bother me. Look, I like John Fetterman. I like him a lot. We don't vote together very often, but I really like him. Now, some may consider that a questionable life choice, but I don't. I think the guy's a total banger. He's a maverick. He follows the rules on the Senate floor, and I really like him. And what I like about John is he plays outside the pocket. He just doesn't give a damn who's mad at him. If you ask him, Fetterman, how do you sleep at night knowing that there are people out there that hate you? He's likely to say something like, with the fan on. He just doesn't care. And I find that refreshing.
That's a great response, though. You gotta have a thick skin. And Fetterman, I don't agree with a lot of what he is for, but a lot of stuff that he's for, I'm okay with.
Yeah, and he's I would say he's as close to being a moderate Democrat as they come.
No, I agree.
And the staunch ones that want to follow all this other idiocy don't like it.
Right.
He doesn't care.
By definition, I would say he's probably the last remaining blue dog Democrat that we would have, I would think.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's let me see. How much more do we have here? We got quite a bit. We probably ought to. Let's do the SAVE Act. We'll push off the break for a minute, and we'll go through the SAVE Act news, because this is really important.
We still got 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This week it's up for a vote in the Senate. I think the House has passed it 3 times. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it would say to the Senate, and then they'd make some little tweaks and stuff, and they'd send it back. And right now, everybody should be on the same page, because it's a Senate bill that was tweaked the last time, and the House went, okay, we can do that one. And so now it just has to be voted on.
Right.
The House passed it. It's the Senate's turn.
Yeah, I heard Fetterman say that he's okay with voter ID. So
yes.
Hopefully we've got that vote. But anyway, here's Congressman Chip Roy, who unfortunately is not going to be in Congress after this year.
Oh man, that is so sad. I love Chip.
I do too. But here he's explaining the whole SAVE Act thing.
Hey everybody, it's Chip Roy from Texas 21, and I'm standing outside the House chamber where next week we are going to move, thanks to the leadership of the Speaker and Leader Scalise, we're going to move H.R. 7296, the Save America Act, legislation that I filed over here in the House and that my friend Mike Lee filed in the Senate. This is common sense legislation. It will require citizenship to register to vote, and it will require voter ID at the polls. This is an issue that polls at something like 80%, regardless of your race, regardless of your background. This is common sense stuff that we think we should move. The SAVE Act, by the way, has passed on a bipartisan basis twice off of the House floor. The problem is Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have been blocking it. So now we're calling on Leader Thune to change this and to force what we call a talking filibuster so that we can force a vote on the Senate floor. We think we can. I'm over in the Capitol Dome room. Across the other side of the dome is the Senate. When we pass this in the House, let's make the Senate do their job and pass the Save America Act. God bless America.
Yeah. He makes a good point. So,
well, you and I are both on the same page with Thune. Also, he is a rhino. Capital letters, R-I-N-O, rhino. We didn't like him when he got voted in as the majority leader, and he's proving himself to be the rhino he is. He has been a problem on several things already this year.
Absolutely. And I knew he was, and you and I both, we talked about this back when they were voting to get a leader.
Him and what was the other, Cronin?
Cornyn.
Cornyn. Yeah. Both of them are, it's two sides of a rhino card. It doesn't make any difference. They're in there together. Scott was the only one that we liked out of Florida.
Yeah.
So he didn't even make it. I think the first round of voting, he didn't even show up.
I couldn't believe it. I thought he was a shoo-in. I really did.
The rhinos want to vote for their own kind.
Yeah, there's still a lot of Mitch McConnells in the Senate.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was in the Senate at the time. So, well, I
Yeah.
guess, is he still in there until?
Officially, he's still there until November.
He's been in the hospital. I don't think he's there.
No, probably not. I don't think he was there for the last couple of years. He seemed
No.
like he was very Joe Biden-esque for a few times I've seen him speak anyway. But CNN's Harry Enton, Richard and I love this guy.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. He's so enthusiastic. This is the word you use. It's perfect. Anyway,
it's infectious. You just smile when you watch him. You just can't help it.
I know it. And it's like, it's almost like the CNN, the management's got to be going, I thought he was a Democrat. Why did we hire him? Anyway, I don't know. But here he is talking about the polling facts when it comes to having an ID to vote.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
Yeah, there you go. And even more polling numbers. General population is 83% in favor, 17% against. Republicans are 95 for and 5 against. Democrats, just Democrats, are 71% for and 29% against. To me, that speaks volumes right there. Independents are 84 and 16. So, I mean, it seems to be I can't think of another subject that we could be more together on as a country.
With the exception of the Dems that are in the Senate, that you got Schumer saying, well, it's Jim Crow 2.0. No, it's not. And by the way, Jim Crow 1.0 was brought on by the Democrats. They seem to leave that part out.
Yeah, they forget about Dixiecrats, and they were the root of all that stuff.
Yep.
But of course, Chuck Schumer, facts don't matter. He's a lot like Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter about facts. When we come back, we'll dig in more about what Chuck had to say about that whole Jim Crow 2.0. And so hang in there. We'll be right back.
The Stay Off My Lawn podcast will be right back.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has removed thousands of criminal, illegal aliens from the U.S. They entered the United States illegally and committed violent crimes against our mothers, children, and friends. Every day, Immigration and Customs Enforcement takes them off our streets. Every removal makes us safer and America stronger. This is what ICE does. This is Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
All right, welcome back to segment 3. Getting back to what we were talking about with the SAVE Act. All it is getting people to show an ID to vote, which most states do anyway. It's just we need to federalize all this and make sure that it's codified to where everybody has to play by the same rules. We don't have certain states just letting everybody walk in and do it. Nothing voter suppressionist about it. MSNBC's Morning Joe asked Chuck Schumer, this is kind of a famous clip now.
Yeah, because Schumer was like, "What? I thought I would be safe coming on here."
Yeah. He gave the typical fear-mongering response. Here he is.
It's Jim Crow 2.0. And I called it Jim Crow 2.0, and the right wing went nuts all over the internet. That's because they know it's true. What they're trying to do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting. For instance, if you change, you're a woman who got married and changed your last name, you won't be able to show ID and you'll be discriminated against. If you can't find a birth certificate or a proper ID, you'll be discriminated against. This is vicious and nasty. And I said to our Republican colleagues, it will not pass the Senate. You will not get a single Democratic vote in the Senate. We're not reviving Jim Crow all over the country.
Yeah, so again, Jim Crow 2.0, it's a dog whistle. It's all they do. They try to get everybody up.
Yeah. Do we have the rebuttal?
We do. This is one of my favorite things. This is about a little over almost 2 minutes, but I think you're going to like this. This is one person's response to old Chucky, and she's a fellow Southerner, so I love it.
Do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting.
See, this is where my righteous anger pop up because I know what he's saying is a lie. I live in the South. I've been living in the South my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I go to vote every single time there's an election. And guess what? I show my ID. I write my signature. They check to make sure who I am. I go vote. No problems. Nobody asking me any questions. Nobody making me count the jelly beans in the jar. And quit lumping us in the people of color category. We're Black Americans. And we are citizens, and nobody is taking away our right to vote. What they are doing is they're using Black people, going back in the past, provoking emotional manipulation, because they know if they say Jim Crow or slavery, Black people are going to be like, oh my God, he's right. They're coming against us. This has nothing to do with you, Black people. Wake up. People of color he talking about is illegal migrants. They don't have IDs. That's their new voting base. Letting these people use you. I've been having an ID since I was 15 years old. I'm 50 years old. Every Black person I know has an ID. You need an ID to drive. You need an ID to go into a club. You need an ID to fly on a plane. You need an ID to go into another country. You need an ID to buy liquor. You need an ID to buy cigarettes. I don't know any Black person without an ID. Even the poorest of the poor Black people have an ID. JJ down the street that dig in the trash can that I pass by, and he always bothering me about a little bit of money. And when I feeling a little giving, I give him $5. Guess what he do? He goes straight into the liquor store and go buy him some liquor. But before he do, he present his ID. So even the homeless man got an ID.
There you go. There you go. I mean,
that lady is awesome. I posted it on my Facebook. I'm sure I've got all kinds of nasty comments about it, but I don't care. She was spot on. I didn't have anything bad. That covered everything from her angle. And hey, I'm the one you're saying can't get bull.
Yeah. I've lived in the South almost all my life, and I've anywhere I've lived. Honestly, I've been in Colorado, Texas, North Carolina, New York, Florida. I mean, I've never known anyone over the age of 15, like she explained, that didn't have an ID. I didn't know anybody. I've known people of Cuban descent, of Venezuelan descent, of Mexican descent. I've got friends all over the map, and they've all got an ID. How is it? To me, that's racist. If you think that somebody, just because they belong to a certain ethnicity,
they're just too damn stupid to go get their own ID. Why don't you just say that? Because that's what you insinuated, and that's just asinine. How dare you do that?
Oh, I know. And I think Jamie Raskin talks about this later. I've got a clip of him, which, his voice just kind of gets on my last nerve. So I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but once we get to him, maybe I'll say it. But even Democrat John Fetterman, which I mentioned a minute ago, was asked about this, and he kind of agrees. He went on to talk about other things that are involved in this whole week of voting, but here he is.
And now, me as a Democrat, I do not believe that it's unreasonable or to show ID just to vote. And I remind everybody that less than a year ago in Wisconsin, they added that to the Constitution by a 63%, passing, to put that in the Constitution that you have to show ID to vote. And they also elected a very, very liberal justice into their Supreme Court. So it's not a radical idea for regular Americans to show your ID to vote. And it's absolutely, those things are not Jim Crow or anything. Of course, that's part of an awful, awful legacy of our nation for so long ago. But where we are now, trying to find a way forward, just trying to call balls and strikes, seeing what's unreasonable, hopefully we don't have to do, and pay the TSA people and everyone, secure our border, and focus on deporting all of those kinds of criminals, wherever they are. That's the guy that votes for that and supports that as a Democrat, and I don't ever want to vote to shut our government down again.
I think he'd be a better Republican leader than Thune. I mean, I'd vote.
Yeah. I am not a fan. I don't care how long he's been in there. He's a rhino. He's been involved with. He's part of the Uniparty that's been there just way too damn long. I don't trust him any farther than I could throw him.
Nope, not at all. Again, ID is required for a lot of things, and this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but I made this yesterday. You have to buy alcohol or tobacco. When you open a bank account, you apply for welfare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps. If you buy or rent a house or a car, you get married, adopt a pet, buying a cell phone, picking up a prescription, donating blood, visiting a casino, for goodness sake. It's like all of those require a photo ID. So why is it racist all of a sudden? It's not racist to do all those things, but it is racist to vote, to show that to vote. It makes no sense. Make it make sense.
I don't understand why they're still pushing the fact when the majority, and I don't mean like, oh, it's a 52%. I mean, it's even the Democrats are 71%, and blacks, weren't they 70%? Something,
Yeah,
76.
I think John or Enton said it was 76% of blacks.
Yeah, 76. Latinos were like 82 or something, and whites are. So it doesn't matter whether anybody is whatever color. If you want to keep separating everybody, basically America says we want the SAVE Act. We want it to be something that because we don't think that our votes, not one person, one vote, is not counting right now because there's too much shady stuff going on. Just like I saw they took apart a Dominion voting machine and there was a Broadcom chip in there. Broadcom it was a Wi-Fi chip, and I believe it was Broadcom, was on one of the computer chipboards that they have. I love this nerd stuff. But the only reason that's there is so it can talk to a Wi-Fi. And there was one incident. They went through their thermostat was a Wi-Fi thermostat, and all they need is a port. Bam, in they go, and they can do all the little nefarious stuff they want to it.
I think that happened a lot in 2020. I really do.
Oh, heaven, Jess. I think it happened more as well in 2024 because they were trying to outdo Trump vote, and it wasn't working. They couldn't outdo it.
They couldn't outdo how bad Kamala was as a candidate.
I mean, when he won 85, 86% of all counties.
Yeah.
If that's not a mandate, I don't know what is. Yes, the big cities where the little blue pockets are. There is no such thing as a blue state. It's only blue cities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because you look at the state of Georgia or even Idaho. You got Boise is blue. The rest of it is deep red.
It's not so much blue. The blue spot that we have in the state is Blaine County, which is you have Sun Valley, Haley, where a lot of the elites come in, fly in. That's where the airport is for Sun Valley. You have to fly into Haley and then drive up the road to Sun Valley. So that's the only part that's
resort,
blue.
Right? Sun Valley.
What's that?
Ski resort? Is that what that is?
Yeah. That one's the ski resort. It's a really beautiful place, even in the summer. So
anyway, Jamie Raskin was not one of my favorite people at all. CNN talked to him the other day about the SAVE Act, and he said something I didn't expect. I'll be honest with you. He surprises me. I got to give him that. He said that it would violate the 19th Amendment. If you're familiar with the 19th Amendment, that was what was passed in 1920, gave women the right to vote.
What?
Women
wow,
can't
he had to dig hard for that one, didn't he?
Yeah. So women, it's misogynist. It's not just racist. It's misogynist. Here's how he said it.
What's wrong with the SAVE Act? What's wrong with it is that it might violate the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote, because you've got to show that all of your different IDs match. So if you're a woman who's gotten married and you've changed your name to your husband's name, but so now your current name is different from your name at birth. Now you've got to go ahead and document that. You need an affidavit explaining why. And why would we go to all of these the troubles in order to keep people from voting when none of the states that are actually running the elections are telling us that there's any problem?
That's a stretch even Denise Austin probably couldn't pull off.
Well, now we didn't record all of the gals' thing that she did, because
She went
it goes on, and she goes, and what about if you have to change your name? She goes, well, I've been married twice. Now, don't judge me. And she goes, it cracked me up. And she goes, I had my birth certificate and I had the stuff to show them this is me, but my driver's license hadn't been changed yet when I needed to vote. I just took that with me. She goes, it was no big deal. Why? Because I have those things, because I needed them in order to get the marriage license. And she took her marriage license with her.
That's the thing. It's like everybody on this podcast here has been married to a woman that had to do this thing, and you take the marriage certificate and they change your ID. It's like, it's not a big deal. People have been doing it. My mother did it. My daughter-in-law did it when she married my son. Everybody has to do. This is not a new thing. All of a sudden, it's like, we need paperwork. I don't have any
19th
paperwork.
Amendment. What a stretch. What an absolute buffoon. That maroon. Oh, what a maroon is so.
What a maroon. Oh, I need that clip, don't I? Hang on. There we go.
What a maroon.
There it is. But Joe Scarborough, this is one last thing on this. This clip has kind of gone a little viral this last week. From about 20 years ago, he was a representative, a Republican representative for the state of Florida in the 1st district down there. But he was talking about the California immigration policies back then. This is what poor old Joe, what he had to say back then.
Tonight, we look at the left coast's most endangered politician, Governor Gray Davis, and his Democratic Party's latest attempts to show illegal aliens that crime pays. The Democratic legislature has actually passed a bill out of committee that allows illegal immigrants to get a California's driver's license. That's right. And by giving these criminals the most accepted form of identification in America, the California Democrats buy votes for themselves. And it looks like, to me at least, that political gamemanship is trumping national security. As illegal immigrants are given a free pass, this plan seems to me to legitimize illegal immigration once and for all. And it's dangerous, and it owes more to winning votes for politicians than keeping our country safe from future terror attacks. It's frightening, folks. Aren't we sending a message to illegal immigrants? Break our laws, come into our country, flood over the borders, and we're going to reward you by giving you a driver's license.
What happened to that guy? I like that guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that
It's
guy.
almost like they were looking at some past clips, and the Democratic Party went, that's a good idea. We'll just, it's like, are you serious? All they've done is, instead of talking out of both sides of your mouth, they stood up and bent over, and we could hear what they were saying better.
Oh, I see. Because it is muffled when you,
Yes,
when
it is.
together like that, yeah. But I guess he got lobotomized or something somewhere along the line. I don't know. I don't know.
Here, you can pretend to be president. We'll take care of things. You just have to be a figurehead, because that's all he was.
Exactly. I have to give CNN credit. The other day, they reported on how ICE was welcomed and treated in Minnesota under Obama, aka the deporter in chief,
Yes.
as you remember. They asked Jacob French Fry about it. Here's how that went.
It is worth noting that during the Obama years, the Hennepin County Jail actually had a policy where they let an ICE agent keep an office there and allowed them to talk to immigrants. So the policy has clearly been, under a Democratic president, what now the Trump administration is asking for. I mean, big picture, do you think it's good policy for the jails to follow an ICE detainer and hand someone over if they've committed a crime? And again, this only happens after they've served their time, for whatever crime they may have committed against the people of Minnesota.
I mean, look, you're asking all the right questions here. And while I don't have full expertise in how the operations at the jail are conducted, again, that's not our jurisdiction. What I would say is that there are mechanisms to do this lawfully.
So pass the buck. It sounds like not my thing.
What was the old TV show? I can't remember the name of it. He's not my job, man.
Yeah.
Every time he'd get asked, he's not my job.
It's not my job. Yob. Yeah. He's such a weasel. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
And just because your area doesn't have any activism against ICE in their schools doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere else. There's leftist teachers, administrators, or whatever in elementary schools.
Oh, worse than that, there was kindergarten classes doing it. Oh, that irked me.
Instead of leading our children to think for themselves, they wanted to get them to think a certain way. And anyway, you don't hear about this much on the news, but we have, I think, Richard, you sent this to me. We dug through and we found this. This is Media Research Center's Brittany Hughes explaining what is happening in parts of the country.
So, new national trend among leftists who want you to think that ICE are the Nazis, pulling children as young as kindergarten out of school to force them to march in political protests in the street. Teachers in San Francisco pulled elementary school students as young as 5 out of class and marched them through the city holding anti-ICE signs. Kids in Atlanta used the opportunity to trash their school field and break laptops at a school that is only 15% proficient at math. At another school in Oakland, California, students stood at an intersection yelling F Donald Trump while holding misspelled signs upside down. Students from a Georgia high school almost got hit by a car while protesting in the street. These are children whose parents sent them to school to learn. They're not politically active. They just want an opportunity to get out of class. Some of them are too young to understand what they're being pulled out of class for. So if you're still wondering whether the communists think they own your children, they do. And they're not being subtle about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, if they gave you an opportunity to get out of class, when I was in high school, if they let me get out of class to flip over dog turds and look for bugs, I'd have gone out there and done it. I don't know.
Elementary school, I don't think I even knew that there were Democrats and Republicans.
I had no idea. Up until high school, I don't think I understood any of that stuff. I didn't pay any attention. I had too much else. I don't know.
I paid attention in civics class for whatever reason. Most of that stuff stuck with me. I'm going back to the Constitution and reading things now and going, okay, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I didn't know that was in there. So it's good to have a refresher, and too many people haven't got a clue what's going on.
But again, it's sort of like, it's just like the sex talk in the sexual oriented books that are in these middle schools and everything. It's like, when you're that age, that shouldn't even be entering your mind. And politics is another thing. My parents hardly ever talked about politics, other than they didn't like who was in office at certain times or whatever. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was not a political thing. Life is different now.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, talking about the Constitution and stuff, that's a good way to get somebody to get rid of you, and you're quoting some things from it. Oh, like you just made that up. And I sent them a picture out of the book, and it was basically in text language. Just never mind.
Unfriend.
Bye-bye.
I don't care. Don't let the
that was the funniest one I've had.
It
was almost like sending them across to to someone that is a vampire.
Yeah.
Truth? What? No, I can't handle that. Don't send me truth.
Yeah. There was also a bit of a dust-up about the ICE situation between Seattle's police union and the new mayor, Katie Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Wilson. Here's Wesley Austin explaining it only the way he can.
We love him.
The Seattle Police Union told Socialist Mayor Katie Wilson to shove it over her anti-ICE order. The union essentially told her, "We'd help, but we're tied up rearresting the guys that you freed yesterday." Seattle's mayor had issued orders to local police directing them to investigate, verify, and document activity by ICE for potential prosecution. The Seattle Police Officers Guild president responded to Wilson's order by posting this on X. Toothless virtue signaling rhetoric like this has already cost 2 people their lives. The concept of pitting 2 armed law enforcement agencies against each other is ludicrous and will not happen. Toothless virtue signaling, the most accurate description of Seattle's government since they tried to fight crime with a mural, a hashtag, and body odor.
Oh my God, I thought I watched it 2 or 3 times when I came across it, and I'm still laughing at it. Like nobody else can do it the way that he does.
He's got that dry sense about him,
and just a little look with his head tilted, and he's got a twinkle in his eye, going, "I know this is going to ruffle feathers, and I don't care."
I don't care. I love it.
Because it was the police union going,
yep, exactly.
Said no.
You know, shout out to the police union in Seattle for them not to be leftist loonies like a lot of them.
Well, and their governor is just ruining that state. He's doing all the things that's ruined California. Yeah, he's doing it up in Oregon, in Washington. Oregon's already going to the dogs. It's already got a problem.
It works so well on the left coast. Let's spread it to the rest of the country.
Yeah, let's not. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. He pretty much said it all.
He did. I love it.
Oh,
we send his clips back and forth to each other all the time, and it's like he knows how to deliver. So
yes,
I couldn't have done it without laughing. So
no, and if you haven't run across him, follow him, because it's a dry sarcasm, but you look at his face and his eyes, and they're just dancing, going, "You get it, right?"
He's got these Star Wars characters on the mantle behind him. It's great. Wesley Austin is his name. You'll have to find him on Instagram. You'll love it.
Lord,
we
he's
need
hilarious.
a palate cleanser after that, though.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty good one in itself. But yeah, this lady, Katie Wilson, she's someone that never had a job. Her parents are still paying her bills, and now she's in charge of a $9 billion budget for the city. She started taxing, and businesses went, "Oh, really?" And they moved to a different town like 15 miles away. And we're not working out of Seattle anymore.
I wouldn't trust her to give me change at a coffee shop.
No.
It's just like New York City. You get what you vote for.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the rest of the country everybody's kind of holding their breath looking at New York City, and it's starting to blow up already.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that with Gavin Newsom, I think that with California, I think that he's eyeing the White House. But his resume is crap. I know he's going to paint it a nice bright color and everything, but I don't think it's going to go well for him.
Well,
I don't know who
brown is brown. I don't know what shade, but it's
the flies flying around it. It really is a dead giveaway. Anyway, we have a Paul Harvey Rest of the story. This is about a guy who carried a stick for a living. I think you'll understand at the end. I didn't know who this was. I don't think you did either.
No, it was another one of those where you think, is this going in the... Didn't know his life was like this, so...
I had no idea. So here we go. Paul Harvey, rest of the story.
Now, the rest of the story. Have you heard the one about the traveling salesman? There's a traveling salesman from Cleveland who wagered over his head in a game of golf. Well, let me tell you the story. If this salesman lost this game, he was going to lose a lot more than a game. So the game he had to win is the rest of the story. He was, as I say, a salesman in Cleveland. He was 25. His income just about equaled his expenses, so though he was a good amateur golfer, he dared not wager for high stakes until one day. Friends had invited him to the Pine Valley course in New Jersey. He'd never played that course before, and Pine Valley's a man-eater, more sand and scrub than short grass. You ask anybody who's played it, Pine Valley is one tough golf course. Now, the young salesman is no hustler, but this day he has to hustle because he needs money, he needs cash, he needs hundreds of dollars. So the negotiating begins. Pine Valley can't be such a hard course, says the visitor, though he has heard otherwise. His golfing companions laugh. Would he care to put up a little money behind that boast? All right, says he. So confident is he that for every stroke over 80 on his scorecard, he'll pay his companions $100. Well, his companions are delighted. Who does this kid think he is that he can shoot 80 or lower on his first time around Pine Valley? But wait a minute, says the guest. You pay me $100 for every stroke I make under par. Par was 72. Well, now his hosts are sure that this youngster has underestimated Pine Valley. They'd heard he was pretty good, but nobody's that good. So they agree to the wager. First hole at Pine Valley's a monster. Dogleg right, 427 yards from the tee, woods on the left, sand and scrub on the right. The green is level with the fairway. The problem is there's a sharp 10-foot drop from the fringe on the left and the right and the back, and all of this in a par 4. Well, our hero's already lying 4, and he's 30 feet from the pin. But he sinks the 30-foot putt. Then before he'd even reached the second tee, he's already shooting bogey golf. $100 for every stroke over 80. There was no way for them to know that their guest was broke. There was no way that he could pay for even one of those strokes. To win, what he needs to do is to break 72. He just has to. He has to. Well, that day, after that most important game on that treacherous golf course, the brash young visitor putted out on the 18th with a round of 68, 4 strokes under par, and his take at the predetermined rate of $100 a stroke, $400. He'd won precisely the cash he needed, and his next stop would be the place of business of a certain mid-city merchant, and there he left the $400, the exact sum needed to pay for what he'd already bought. It's many victories later today, millions of dollars in winnings and earnings, but the incomparable career in professional golf all began with a game he had to win in 1954. For that day he was playing for keeps. He was playing for an engagement ring that he had bought before he could pay for it. And that day he learned how good a golfer he really could be. He learned what he could do when he had to. So that year, the Cleveland salesman made golf his profession, and he and it have rewarded each other ever since. The prize he won 34 years ago was a girl named Winifred Walzer, then and thereafter, Mrs. Arnold Palmer. And now you know the rest of the story.
Had no idea. That's good stuff.
Didn't know that he went through that, and was a very kind gentleman and was always good to be around. Unlike Jack Nicklaus, was very good at golf, but not somebody you want to go sit and have a beer with or visit.
Yeah, he was kind of arrogant, and I get the arrogance, I guess, when you're one of the best in the world. I get it, but Arnold Palmer didn't give into that. So.
No, you got to have the confidence to play well. And Arnold Palmer and Lee Trevino were two of the older golfers I enjoyed watching because they just seemed to have fun. Arnold was just relaxed about it and had fun doing what he did.
They laughed a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
And even guys like Fuzzy Zeller. I mean, because he had the funny pants and everything.
And he just recently passed.
Yeah, I think he did. So a lot of the good guys of the guys that we grew up watching are all from the way. So anyway. Well, hey, don't forget this Thursday I'm having my surgery. So if you're a praying person, please throw up a prayer for me on Thursday morning. We got to be at the hospital at 5:30. 5:30.
Because you were going to have to be there the same time I have to be at mine, but I'm 2 hours behind.
So I guess they're going to drill into me somewhere around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
See if they strike any oil.
See what's in there. I mean, we got to go in there and look around. They have a camera.
Drill, baby, drill.
I'm going to ask.
Are they going to? They're going to redecorate. They're going to move the couch around and
maybe vacuum a little bit. But Barbara had asked one time about when she got her hip replaced, what like you're getting ready to do. She asked if she could have the hip like in a jar to take home, and they said no, we couldn't do that. So I'm going to ask if I can have my adrenal gland in a jar so I can take home, because if I get it, I'm going to show you. It's going to be pretty awesome. I don't even know what it looks like, but I know the tumor on the adrenal gland is 1 inch by 3. So you'll see that too. It'd be fun. But he'll probably tell me no.
Show and tell. Yay!
It doesn't hurt to ask. I'm going to ask.
Yeah, I don't think my surgeon, we asked, and I don't think his dog's name is Eddie, and I don't think he's going to get anything either.
Aw, I hate that. Poor Eddie. A little marrow is good for him. Anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. We certainly did today. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you find podcasts.
And if all that's just too complicated and you can go to a website, go to our good old website at stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
And we'll see you next time.
Toodles, and thanks again for watching, and tell a friend, and I will probably see you for a bit next week.
Sure.
Well, we had fun, and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh, or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.